Shalom family, and welcome once again to the Uzziel Lewi channel. My name is Uzziel Lewi. I'm one of the teachers at Congregation d.c.b. Thanking the Most High God, creator of heaven and earth, for all things and everything. Food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I'm grateful to this mighty King for my life, the life of Kobe Israel scattered in the four corners of the earth. And I hope that everyone out there is having a great Shabbat day. Overall a great Shabbat day and a Shabbat evening, and blessings on this day. This day is filled with blessings, and I'm thankful to the Creator of heaven and earth for this day. All honor and glory to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the one who created us all and not us ourselves. And we should be thankful to the Most High God for this day and appreciate all the blessings that He brings in our lives. The good things, the bad things. Like I always said, from the bad things we learn, and we give glory to the Most High God. Beautiful forever, Shabbat Shalom. Julie Figueira, Shabbat Shalom to you and to everyone else that's listening. I pray that the Most High God will give you an eternal blessing on this day, that the Most High God would uplift all of our spirits and allows us all to just rejoice in Him and the Creator. Is great. His mercy endures forever. And we give glory to this mighty King, the Creator of all things and everything. Hallelujah. How's everyone feeling out there? Praying that everyone is having like I said, a great evening. And I'm praying that the Most High God be with all of us, the sick in the nation, that the Creator be with all those who might be downtrodden, who going through some depression, that the Most High God will strengthen you all, protect you and guide you, give you the strength to call upon His name and to have faith in Him. It's important for us to have faith in the Creator of heaven and earth, and that the Most High God will continue to be with us and bless us all. Praying also for the people in Australia still, people in Puerto Rico, all the people that is going through suffering throughout the four corners of the earth, our people in all our islands to where we were scattered to, that the Most High God will hear all their prayers, that the Creator will continue to be with them and guide them and protect them, and give them the fortitude to continue to keeping on and to continue to do the things that are necessary for them to be good. Okay.
All right. I forgot one thing because it's out of sync. It's the audio.
Okay. So I got my son here.
Where is it?
Interface. Scarlett.
Boom.
Thank you. Thank you, Miles. You're putting it back in sync. I have my technical director. Bring me that thing to drink, all right? Thank you. That's why you need technical directors to be watching and knowing what's going on. No one was going to tell me here that the volume was out of sync, but thank you. Yes, giving glory once again to this mighty King, Creator of heaven and earth, the one who created us all and not us ourselves. And shout out to all my peoples out there. Shout out to my yellow deem. Shout out to my daughter out there who loves Amatia, who loves the drums, and she thinks she's a drummer. Got the bongos in the house and she starts playing them. So thanking the Most High God for giving her that type of spirit. Praying for all those who are sick in the nation. Keeping our prayers up for the elder Mikael, that the Most High God be with him and strengthen him, even through all the endeavors that he's going through, that the Most High God be with his family. Answer the prayers of us who are praying for him, and that the Creator will continue to be with him and lift him, you know. Yes, my associate producer, Mordecai. Thank you, son. That's my associate producer. Without him, it wouldn't be too much of this fancy stuff going on. So, and the annals of history, depending on how long I do this, he's gonna get the credit. He'll be everything. He'll be sound engineer. He's a lot of things. So I'm grateful to the mighty King for him and giving me a son like that who's willing to help me and be in all the intricate parts of what is done, even in this whole thing. And I think I put the wrong date up there. Yes, I did. So let me edit the date right now. I put the 18th. The 18th is tomorrow. Today is the 17th. Right? Today is the 17th. So on the stream is going to say the 18th, but I'm going to change it right now. Save it. I'm going to change this thumbnail. I'm going to change the thumbnail right now. Let me see. Well, I guess I can't change it right now, but let me see here. I guess I could do that later. All right. Change the date to the 17th. Yes, family. So it's great to be here, to give glory to this mighty King, to uplift the name of the Creator, and to continue to elevate as a people. One of the things that we have to do as a people is elevate, continue to grow, not be stagnant. Stagnation is one of our greatest problems, and it almost becomes a sin. So we definitely have to continue to move forward, continue to grow, continue to not be stagnated, and open up our minds. There are a lot of things that as a young person I wish that I would have done, that I could still do. But when you're younger, you have more time to do certain things, right? You got more time to explore. You got more time in your hands because the responsibilities of life have not come upon you. You know, children, work, all those things. So in your youth is the predominant time that you should be seeking all those good things in life and gain knowledge and gain understanding in your youth. Excuse me. In your youth, these headphones get too hot after a while, so I don't really need them. So it's important that in your youth you gather in. You know, you invest in yourself. That's important, to invest in yourself. What do I mean by investing in yourself? You invest in yourself by going to school, by putting in the time, so that at the end you could gather or you could reap the benefits of what you sowed in. So, you know, education is very important. That's one of the staples of life. If you're not seeking your education, or you're not seeking a higher learning or a higher state of learning, then you could stagnate yourself in many ways. Now, you do have people that are not the bookworms, but they prosper in other things. They become carpenters or electricians or music, whatever it be, you know. But you pursue it with a fervor to where you become successful at whatever it is that you're pursuing. That becomes a career. Everybody is not going to go to college. As parents, sometimes that's our desire, but what we have to look for is the ability of the person, of the child, and see what is it that they are good in, or what is it that interests them, and push them towards that. Right? So those are some of the things that we have to look for. Stagnation is one of the biggest things that holds us back. For years, as Israelites, we've been stagnated because we can't, it seemed like every step forward we take 2 steps back. And that's what they call hustling backwards. You cannot do that. And a lot of times that holds us back or refrain us from growing and doing the things that we're supposed to do. as a people, as a nation, and it's time to stop stagnating. For years, for a long time, I wish that I would have learned so much more. There's different facets to this way of life, and there's certain things that we were restricted from. And I get it to a certain point, but sometimes when you get to a certain level in your learning, when you are on solid ground and you have a solid foundation, it's I feel like you have to continue to learn. And in order to continue to learn, you're going to run across things that might be a little bit out there, right? But one thing that I learned from my teachers was, in everything, or most things, there's good. But what you do is you pick the meat off the bone, the blood, whatever, you get rid of that and you eat what's good. So a lot of time people are fearful about what they don't know and what they don't understand. But one thing for sure is that when you have a solid understanding, then nobody could rock that foundation. And I think that if we have more of a open mind towards certain things, that we could grow more. The key to success is reading and to have understanding of many things. You have some people you get into conversations with that they're just versed in a little bit of everything in the world. That's because they opened up their mind to read and be able to understand and be able to have a conversation with someone and be able to listen, right? Do more listening than talking. A lot of times most times that's how we learn, by listening and not talking. So these are little aspects of life that we need to understand. We need to go to school. Children, you need to go to school. There is no options about education. Education is what you have to get. Education is what you have to do. If you refuse to when you start to open up your mind to different things, that's when you're a higher value in life and everything, your company, whatever. Sometimes you're working for a company and you have let's say you start out with an associate's degree. The boss tell you, in order for you to move up, you have to get that bachelor. So what you do, you work towards that bachelor, you advance, right? You get a new position, you get higher on the totem pole. And then, if you want to keep climbing, you got to get that master's. And then you get that master's and you begin to climb. I'm just giving you a base understanding of it so that you could get it. You have to put in the effort. The more you do, the more you plant, the more you're going to reap at the end. The more benefits you're going to reap at the end. So these are things that we have to think about, that we have to be on top of, and we have to encourage each other to do certain things, right? If you had a point in your life that you were like at a crossroads, go to the Creator, pray to the Creator, and then what you do is you come back, you ask God to guide your steps, and leave it in the hands of the Most High God, but with you putting a foot forward in order to do the things that you need to do. Give glory to the Most High God. Hallelujah. I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful for this understanding. Once again, praying for everyone out there that's sick, that might be sick, that might not be doing that well. Don't forget to share the link on your different platforms. Don't forget to like the video and leave your comments after the video is posted. So need 1 second here. Giving a shout out to all my people out there. To all the people who stuck to this, who've been soldiering with this, who've been holding it down. It's not easy in these times, and there are a lot of things happening to where people are they're coming at Israelites. Stay the course, stay strong. You know what you are and who you are. Continue to be the person that you are, and put your trust in the Creator. Move with wisdom. Acknowledge your surroundings, who's around you, who is good for you, who's not good for you, and stay strong. Walk proud as an Israelite with your head up, with your fringes out. You don't have to tuck them in, because we Israel. And see everything that's around you. All right? So be strong and of good courage. And understand your surroundings and the things that are happening around you on a day-to-day basis. And look out for the pitfalls and the snares that are before you. Amen? So at this time, I want to open up. Let's see something real quick. How was everyone's Shabbat meal out there? I want y'all to post up what y'all have for Shabbat dinner, your desserts, everything. Just post it up there. I want to be able to visualize what is it that you all had. Yes. Also, can somebody tell me Puerto Rico, not Puerto Rico, Australia, are they still burning down? Can somebody let me know if it's still burning down? I didn't really hear much about it this week in the news, but I just wanted to know, what's going down over there. So, Australia. Ema Alicia, you had pizza? I guess you ain't want to do any cooking, so you just settle with pizza. I hear you. Let me see. Avia, why? She says she ate ziti. Okay. That's good. See what else people put up there. Rakutya Jordan, Hamzat, Cajun chicken and Nigerian rice. Okay. Oh, and to my brother Oria out there, I'm sorry, my brother. I know you called me and I said that I will get back to you. But if you're listening, I'll try to get back to you sometime this weekend. Maybe on Yom Rishon, all right, if I remember. If not, you could give me a call back. Just know that I didn't forget you. I try to answer everybody's calls, but sometimes, I have my own life and I have things to take care of. So every time I can't grab the phone, or I'm in a place where I can't pick up. So please forgive me when I can. Let me see here. Ima Nadivia, she said she had wingettes, mac and cheese, garlic bread, lamb chops, coleslaw, and brownies. I needed to be over there. Goodness gracious. Great googler muggler. Yerusha Yehuda said chicken, broccoli with stir-fried rice, apple crumb for dessert. Igdalia Yisrael, mac and cheese, greens, yams, and lamb. That sounds good. Everybody looking like they had a little bit of lamb. Nasira. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. All right, Deborah Mac, this should be interesting. Chicken parmesan, I knew it would be interesting. And spaghetti, green, beans, corn, and tricolor carrots. Tricolor carrots? They come in 3 colors? I gotta look for that. Michael Parker, Shabbat Shalom. Brooklyn's Chosen, baked mac and cheese, salmon, string beans, and vegetable egg rolls. Okay. Brooklyn's Chosen, you breaking away from that rice, huh? But you substituting it with that mac and cheese. My man. He's a rice lover like I am. Max, stop yelling. Let me see. My red says salmon patties, sweet potatoes, green salad, vegetable spring rolls, and lemonade. That sounds like a winner. Cowboy Wanza said hot wings, lasagna, lemonade, salad, and later lemon cake and water. Okay, that's the dessert. Fire still going in Australia. Okay, thank you. May the Most High God have mercy on them. Moray Tavel said curry chicken, rice and spinach, ice cream, cookies and cream. I ain't trying to keep up with the masses. Okay. Well, I knew you was going to have curry chicken and rice from earlier because I spoke to you, so I already knew that. Okay, so it looked like everybody enjoyed themselves. They had a good meal. That's great. I had some rice and peas with, rice and lentils, coconut rice with lentil and some chicken and kale. Simple. I'm about ready to have some ice cream later. Ooh, Kangaroo Island, Australia. Okay. That's sad. So, today I think I'm going to go into the book of Ezekiel chapter 16. Read a little bit about Ezekiel. Now, the prophet Ezekiel was during the Babylonian captivity. They have certain spots. Well, Babylon is modern day what we know as Iraq today, right? So out there they have like sites, Ezekiel's tomb. And now it says here in Al Kilf, Iraq, they got Ezekiel's tomb out there. So, historically, he was one of the prophets that got taken into Babylon, and that's where he did most of his work at. So, I'm gonna read a little bit of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 16, starting from verse 1. Hallelujah. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations, and say, Thus saith Yahweh God unto Jerusalem, Thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite. And as for thy nativity, in the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supple thee. Thou was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all. So basically, what the Most High God is sending the prophet Ezekiel to speak to the children of Israel about is our condition when we first started out as a nation. So it says here, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan, because that's where the nation of Israel was formed. And that's the land that he promised Abraham, Yitzchak, or Yaakov. He told them that this will be their land. This will be the land that their children shall inherit, and that they shall inherit. So it says, an Amorite it says, thy father was an Amorite and thy mother an Hittite. Not literally, but that was their land. That was the lands of the land of the Amorite and the Hittite, the Canaanites, all the Canaanite nations. So it's pointed in a allegorical form, saying that this is where we were born. This was the birth of our nation in the land of Canaan, right? And as for thy nativity, right, what we are native to, right? Nativity, what we're native to, what land we're native to. And the day that I was born, thy navel was not cut. Our navel cord was not cut. Now, you know, when a child is born, that's the first thing they do. They cut the navel cord, right? Neither was thou washed in water to supple thee. Thou was not salted at all, no swaddled at all. No one had any love for us, basically. We was left out. We was left out by ourselves. As a people, we was left by ourselves. That's the nation of Israel, right? This is what the prophet Ezekiel was sent by the Most High God to say to the children of Israel, that were now in captivity, right? In the land of, I believe at this time they were already in Babylon. But, you know, it's like us being in captivity here. We have prophets that come out and tell the people about the wrong that they doing, and it's for them whether they hear or forbid, right? So it was no different in Babylon. You know, there were people out there that were preaching and telling the children of Israel of the wrong that they were doing. Now, whether they heard or forbore or forbear it, then that was up to them. You understand what I'm saying? It says here, verse 5, none I pity thee to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee, but thou was cast out in the open field to the loathing of thy person in the day that thou was born. So basically, he said no one cared for us, right? The Most High God is saying here through the prophet Ezekiel, no one cared for us. People loathe us. People didn't care about us. We was minute in the eyes of the other nations. So the Most High God is going back and replaying how we was as a nation when we first started. How no one cared for us, no one looked after us, and nobody even cared whether or not we were good or we were bad. They didn't care about that. And we're going to get to actually to the point where that we're trying to get to. Verse 6, and when I passed by thee, I saw thee polluted in thy own blood. I said unto thee when thou wast in thy blood, live. So this is the Most High God saying that when he walked by us, he saw us waddling in our blood, polluted. And when he saw us, he told us to live because we was left for dead. Remember, no one cut the umbilical cord. We was just left in the field and no one cared about us. We was left out there on our own. Yea, I said unto thee when thou wast in thy blood, live. Verse 7, I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, and thou hast increased and waxen great, and thou art come to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned, and thine hair is grown, whereas thou was naked and bare. So now the Most High God said when he told us to live, that we multiplied in the multitude. We went into Egypt, we went in 70 souls, and we came out a nation. We went to the land of Canaan, we grew even more. So these are the different things that we begin to see within the nation of Israel, right? That where there's a part in the book that speaks about how we wax fat and we kick. Exactly what happened. God said he fashioned us. He said our breasts begin to grow because the Most High God always compares us to a woman, because in the comparison or in the relationship, we are the female and he's the male. He's the dominant figure, right? So he always compares the nation of Israel to a female. So we say he fashioned us and we was looking good when no one else cared about us. Said our breasts are fashioned, thy hair is grown, whereas thou was naked and bare. He said, your hair grew. He said, but before you was naked and bare, no one cared for you. Says here, now when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love, and I sparked, and I spread my skirt over thee, and covered thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee, and entered into a covenant with thee, saith Jehovah God, and becamest mine. So God said when he saw us naked, he covered us with his skirt, meaning the skirts of his garments, right? And then it says that he covered our nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee, and entered into a covenant with thee. What was that covenant? That he be our God and we be his people. Said Jehovah God, and thou becamest mine. We became his peculiar treasure. The people that he called his blessed anointed people, his firstborn. That's who we became when he entered into covenant with us. Those are the things that we sometimes forget as the nation of Israel. It says here, then washed I thee with water. Yea, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil. So God now say he took us in. You was unrefined. No one cared about you. No one even thought about resuscitating you or bringing you in or filling you up or giving you that strength. He said, I was the one that did that. He said, and I anointed thee with oil. I made you look good and smell good. I clothed thee also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger skin. And I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. So he put the best of the best on us, right? Because now if we are his Isha, if we are his wife, he's going to give us the best. So he's give you an example of when you have your wife, you have your Nashim, whatever it may be. If you have it, give them the best. God said he did that for us. He decked us out. He made us look good, gave us ornaments, did all these things. Says here, I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands and a chain on thy neck. So, like most people, when you get a woman that you love, you want her to look good. So you put ornaments, you buy her gold chains, rings, earrings, and all types of things. This is especially for us as God's people. We have that in us. You always want to make your lady look nice. You always want her to look good. If you have it, I'm not telling you go out of your way to do something that you can't do. But when you have it, those are things that you do. You want your lady to look good, feel good, and it gives you a sense of fulfillment when your lady or your wife, whoever it might be, is happy. Gives you a sense of fulfillment. Verse 12, and I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thy ears, and a beautiful crown upon thine head. So you see, the totafot that our sisters sometimes wear, you could deck it out. You could put on anything. A headdress. You know, a few years back, the sisters was wearing this thing on their head that looked like it didn't look like a crown, but it was like this thing that they put, it was an ornament that hung on their foreheads. That's what it's talking about. Earrings in thine ears, and a beautiful crown upon thy head. earrings. I remember the bamboo earrings, the door knockers, and the crown on your head, that turban. Nothing makes a woman look more beautiful than a turban on her head. It accentuates whatever it is that you have, right? It brings it out. It makes you look royal. And that's what it's talking about here. That the Most High God made us look, how he made us look, right? So if the Most High God is speaking about how he decked us out, and the way he's describing how he decked us out, it's in godliness and his holiness, how much more so us as individual women and men as we walk every day. So when we walk every day and we represent this creator, we have to be aware of how we look, how we carry ourselves, presentation. All these things are important because what we see here is that the Most High God does have a delight in those things, right? Us being decked out, us looking good, because this is what he's talking about. He's speaking on a superficial level for us to understand, right? So if we understand, we could apply that to our normal lives or to our everyday lives and understand what the Most High God looks for from us and what we should do. All right? It says here, verse 13. Thus was thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen. Who likes more gold than us, God's people? Who likes more ornaments and bracelets and chains and earrings than us, God's people, right? No one. It says, and thy raiment was of fine linen, silk, embroidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou was exceeding beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom. He gave us the finer things in life, but we rejected it, as we're going to see later in this chapter. Verse 14, and thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty, for it was perfect through my comeliness, which I have put upon thee, saith Jehovah God. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty, and playest the harlot because of thy renown, and poured out thy fornications on every one that passed by. His it was. So God said, I made you look beautiful. He said, but you thought your beauty came from thee, from you. So you trusted in your own beauty, and you played the harlot. You played the harlot. That's like your husband decks you out and put all types of stuff on you, makes it look beautiful for you to go and lay with another man. This is what God is comparing us to, right? I decked you out. I made you a nation. I brought you out of the iron furnace, brought you into your own land that I promised to your fathers. And then you went on whoring after other gods, following their ways, following their laws, following their statutes. And this is what made the Most High God angry, what made him upset. Verse 15, but thou didst trust in thy own beauty, and played the harlot because of thy renown, and poured out thy fornications on every one that passed by. His it was, so we gave it up to whomever passed by. Verse 16, and of thy garments thou didst take, and decked thy high places with diverse colors, and played the harlot thereupon. The like things shall not come, neither shall it be so. So we came and we gave the glory that belonged to the Creator to another. This is basically what this is saying, right? We took our raiments and gave it to somebody else. We took our shekels and gave it to the priests of the foreign god. We bow down to statues of gold and of silver and of wood, of stone, that have mouths to speak not, that have ears but hear not, that have feet but walk not. This is what the Creator is speaking about, and what he's seeing, and what we're doing, and how we carry ourselves. Verse 17, thou hast also taken thy fair jewels of my gold and of my silver, which I had given thee, and madest to thyself images of men, and didst commit whoredom with them. So God gave man the gold and silver, and we took it and made idols out of it and called them God, when he's the one who gave us everything. It says there. Verse 18, thou tookest thy broidered garments and covered them, and thou hast set mine oil and mine incense before them. So God said, everything I gave you, you gave it to a false god, to an idol. My meat also which I gave thee, fine flour and oil and honey, wherewith I fed thee, thou hast even set before them for a sweet savor, and thus it was, saith Jehovah God. Everything I gave you, you gave to the stock of wood. Verse 20, moreover, thou hast taken thy sons and thy daughters, whom thou hast borne unto me, and these hast thou sacrificed unto them to be devoured. Is this of thy whoredoms a small matter, that thou hast slain my children and delivered them to cause them to pass through the fire for them? Yeah, we go get these children christened. Back then it was the fire, today is the water. Today you get baptized, you get dipped in the water. No difference, just that back then the child will die. People will sacrifice their firstborn in order to for Molech to bring them more prosperity and bring them more children. Now, how crazy and how stupid that was. But today what we do, we christen the children. Today we dip them in, we baptize. It's not the fire anymore, it's the water. So these are things that we have to stop, because these are not things that God commanded. God didn't tell us to be baptized for us to enter into his kingdom. The Most High God required of us godliness and cleanliness. Yes, he required that, right? Every time the priest had to do something, even during Yom Kippur, when he atoned for the sins of the people, he would have to bathe a few times, quite a few times. Scoots Levy, hey Chief, what do you think of the Jonathan Targum Uzziel Tanakh? If it's a Tanakh, most Tanakhs have the Hebrew in it, and the Hebrew doesn't change. So just see how it reads and see how comfortable you are with it. Now I've never heard of this Tanakh, but if there is, since you said there's one like that out there, pick it up, read it, see how it reads, and then it should be good. But usually with the Tanakh, the Hebrew remains the same. They don't change the Hebrew in none of them. It says here, verse 22. And in all thine abominations and thy whoredoms, thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, when thou was naked and bare and was polluted in thy blood. So God is saying, when in all your whoredom and everything that you did, you forgot me. You forgot what you was in your youth when no one was there. And I was there for you. It says here, and it came to pass after all thy wickedness, woe unto thee, saith Jehovah God. So God said, after all our wickedness, woe unto us, that thou hast built unto thee an eminent place, and hast made thee an high place in every street. We worship God in every street in America. You go down the street, man, you might have 3-4 churches on one block. No lie. Like a hustle. You got a church, you got the mosque, you got this, you got that. These are all places that the Most High God didn't approve of. And these are things that we have to be on point on and understand what is it that God is speaking about, and how is it that we went astray after the Most High God took care of us. Verse 25, that has built thy high place at every head of the way, and has made thy beauty to be abhorred, and has opened thy feet to every one that passed by, and multiply thy whoredom. So God is comparing us to a harlot who opens her feet to every passerby, right? A prostitute. But listen to this. Thou hast also committed fornication with the Egyptians, thy neighbors, greater flesh, and has increased thy whoredoms, and provoked me to anger. Yeah, we went and worshiped Amun-Ra. Amun-Ra. We started worshiping all the Egyptian gods and calling them our gods. This is what the Most High God means with our whoredoms, and we went a whoring. And what we did, not that we were like a harlot, who works in order to get money and to survive. Not like that, but we was a harlot because we fell into every way of life that our enemies had, and we followed after them. It says here, verse 27, behold, therefore I have stretched out my hand over thee, and I have diminished thine ordinary food, and delivered thee unto the will of them that hate thee, the daughters of the Philistines, which are ashamed of thy lewd way. So the Most High God say he shortened our food, he starved us out, and then he delivered us into the hands of those who hate us, and that's where we're at today. In the hands of those who hate us. Don't never fool yourself and think that you're loved. You might get your ones and twos and fews that dig us as God's people, but you could see it. But you could see it. Listen, I was looking at a report, and they were talking about, because in New York City there was a problem with stop and frisk that was predominantly affecting Black and Latinos, as they like to call our brothers and sisters who speak Spanish, Latinos. But it was predominantly facing us. And this is how you know that the quote unquote Latinos is the children of Israel, because they get the same harassment that quote unquote Black people get, right? But and that's a whole conversation for another day, because is the way I look at it is like we're all in the same pot. I always say this: if you look at my family tree, I'm about the darkest person in my family on my father's side. But when you look, that color will go from nieces and nephews that you will look at them and you will say, oh, because of the ignorance that we have about certain things. Oh, he looked like a Mexican, or he looked like this. That's what I'm saying. The genes are there. You know what I'm saying? And we might come out like a bouquet of flower, speckled bird. It's not necessarily we just all gonna look the same, right? So, getting off the topic, but yeah, I was looking at the study, and it was speaking about, before we had the problem with the stop and frisk, that was predominantly affecting Black and, like I said, quote unquote Latinos, and that got slowed down. They had to admit that this was a racist tactic, because it was predominantly affecting these groups of people more so than anybody else. Although New York City houses much more, believe it or not, I believe Caucasians than Blacks and Latinos. We are concentrated in certain pockets of the city, but for most part, they have, it's more of them than us, I believe. So, looking the other day, and they was talking about turnstile stops, the people who go to the train and take the train. Once again, they said 90% of the people that get stopped and jumping the train or not paying their fares were blacks and Latinos. And one of these groups came out and said, that's racist because you can't tell me that white folks, only 10% of white folks are skipping their fares. Because they skip their fare too. They steal, they rob, they sell drugs, they do all those things, but it's showing the disproport the unbalance in what's happening and how they're doing it, right? That we're targeted. But this is all part of the curse because we didn't do the things that we were supposed to do before the Creator. So this is all part of our punishment and what we're supposed to go through. We got to give glory to the Creator. We have to understand that God is not happy with our behavior. He was not happy with the behavior of our forefathers. But now Israel is waking up. More of us are waking up now than ever before. Now what we have to do is we have to stay strong, right? We have to. What we have to do is I see that this thing is skipping. Give me 1 second here, family. Something is happening here. All right. Maybe my technical guy will come down in a second and come see what's going on with the stream. I know what's going on. He forgot to plug in my Ethernet cable. But it's okay. I think we can make it through. Let me see here. Can y'all still hear me and see me clearly? Can y'all still hear me and see me clearly? Give me 1 second here. I know what I'm going to do. Go get my Ethernet cable. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Hopefully you guys can still see me. All right. I just had to connect the Ethernet cable so I didn't lose it don't buffer as much and stuff like that. I like going with a direct line. Okay, so here we go. Sorry about that. See what verse I'm up to. Verse 28. Verse 28, thou hast played the whore also with the Assyrians, because thou wast unsatiable. Yea, thou hast played the harlot with them, and yet couldst not be satisfied. So not even with these nations that hated us were we satisfied. We continue to go from nation to nation, doing all the things that the Most High God did not approve of us doing. Thou hast moreover multiplied thy fornication in the land of Canaan unto Chaldea, and yet thou was not satisfied herewith. To the land of Chaldea, which is, at this point, like I told you, we're in the Babylonian captivity. So we brought our idolatry from the land of Canaan, and we got brought into captivity, and we in Babylon over there worshiping their gods, adopting their way of life, just like when we came into this Babylon onto this part of the hemisphere, we adopted their way of worshiping their gods and doing the things that the Most High God told us not to do. He said, when we went into the land of Canaan, he said, don't inquire of their gods. He said, and don't mention their names. And don't make mention of their names. Also giving a shout out to the brother Saed Benyamin in Wichita. I had a conversation with him. Beautiful spirit. May the Most High God be with you, your wife, your yellow demon if you have, or your child. May the Most High God bless y'all. And thank you the Most High God for giving people like you and all of you who listen out there, the silent listeners, the spirit to praise and to give you the strength to be able to get up from falsehoods and walk in this way. So thank the Most High God for your life. If you're listening, to you and your family. Gave me a call today. Was it today? Earlier today? Or yesterday? It was one or the other. My mind is all over. I think it was today. Thank you the Most High God for your life. May the Most High God bless you and your family. Here we go. "30. How weak is thy heart, saith Jehovah God, seeing thou doest all these things, the work of an imperious, whorish woman." Goodness gracious, the Most High God is really, through the prophet Ezekiel, really cussing us out. "And that thou buildest thine eminent place in the head of every way, and maketh thine high place in every street, and has not been as an harlot, and that thou scorneth hire, but as a wife that committeth adultery, which taketh strangers instead of her husband." So he said, you don't even be like a harlot who take a hire. He said, you scorn the hire. You know, a harlot, this is what she goes for. She goes for her money. You know, this is why she does what she do. It said, we don't even do that. We scorn away the money. We don't even want the money. He said, but we are as a wife that committeth adultery, which taketh strangers instead of her husband. That's who the Most High God is comparing us to, because he called us his wife. So if we are his wife, then he is our husband. Verse 33, "They give gifts to all whores, but thou givest thy gifts to all thy lovers, and hires them, that they may come unto thee on every side for thy whoredom." Said, people give gifts to whores. Said, but us, we give gifts to the guy who coming to look for the whore. So we hustle backwards. Instead of being tricked on, we are the trick. And although we giving up the goods, we still paying for giving up the goods. Ain't that something? We paying for giving up the goods. Goodness gracious. Verse 34, and the contrary is in thee from other women in thy whoredoms, whereas none followeth thee to commit whoredoms, and in that thou givest a reward, and no reward is given unto thee. Therefore thou art contrary. You are contrary to a whore. You are the total opposite to a whore. You go on the whore strip. Everybody else will be mad at you because everybody going to you because you giving gifts and you giving up the goods. So all the other harlots will be like, you got to get up off this strip because you're not hustling right. That's what God is comparing us to. It says here, "35. Wherefore, harlot, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh God, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredoms with thy lovers, and with all the idols of thy abominations, and by the blood of thy children which thou didst give unto them. Behold, therefore I will gather all thy lovers, with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that thou hast loved, with all them that thou hast hated. I will even gather them round about against thee, and I'll discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness. And I will judge thee as women that break wedlock and shed blood are judged, and I'll give thee blood in fury and jealousy." God said he's going to bring all the lovers, all of our lovers, all them nations that we love to follow after, and let them see us in our nakedness. And then he says here, "And I will judge thee as a woman that break wedlock and shed blood are judged, and I'll give thee blood and fury and jealousy." A woman who breaks wedlock is put to death. That's how God say he gonna judge us. You know, that breaking the wedlock is no good. Today people do it. They do it with no problem. You marry your wife, and here you are. You walking in this way of life. You walking solid, and you doing certain things. You raising up your families in certain ways, and then next thing you know, she walks away. She breaks the wedlock because she walks away without a bill of divorce, and then guess what? She's out there in the world doing what she want to do because she no longer accepts or wants to walk this. But you never gave her a bill of divorce. You guys never got divorced legally if you were married legally by the court system. And guess what she did? She committed adultery. So this is what the Most High God is talking about, that he's going to judge us as a woman who has broken her wedlock. The punishment for adultery is death. So that's how God is going to judge us. It says here, verse 39, "And I'll also give thee into their hand, and they shall throw down thy eminent place, and shall break down thy high places. They shall strip thee also of thy clothes, and shall take thy fair jewels, and leave thee naked and bare." The nations is going to do that to us. And then that happened to us as a people, captivity. The Portuguese, the Spaniards, the English, the Dutch, everyone came and had a piece of us and sold us, the Arabs. Some of the African nations. What they did, they had a field day with us. It says here, 40, "They shall also bring up a company against thee, and they shall stone thee with stones and thrust thee through their swords." Right? These are the captivities. This is what they did to us. It's what all the nations did to us. "And they shall burn thine houses with fire and execute judgments upon thee in the sight of many women, and I'll cause thee to cease from playing the harlot, and thou also shalt give no hire anymore." We went through the transatlantic slave trade. We went through the genocide of the children of Israel, spread to the four corners of the earth. We went through Jim Crow era. We went through lynching and hangings and burnings. We did all that. The Most High God said that he would have put all that on us because we went a whoring after false gods. What's up, Miles here? The stream is bad?
It's like a delay when you speak. I think I left the timestamp on.
My executive producer is here once again. He said there's a delay when I speak, and I guess it's driving him crazy.
I'll use this for right now. See if that works.
All right. Thank you, sir. You can see he made his little cameo. It says here, verse 40. They shall also bring up a company against thee, and they shall stone thee with stones, and thrust thee through their swords. And they shall burn thine houses with fire, and execute judgments upon thee in the sight of many women, and I'll cause thee to cease from playing the harlot, and I also shall give no hire any more. So will I make my fury towards thee to rest, and my jealousy shall depart from thee, and I'll be quiet, and will be no more angry. After the Most High God execute judgments upon us, he will be no more angry, he'll be quiet. 43. Because thou hast remembered the days of thy youth, but hast fretted me in all these things, behold, therefore I also will recompense thy way upon thy head, saith Jehovah God, and thou shalt not commit this lewdness above all thine abominations. Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverbs against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter. Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loatheth her husband and her children, and thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loatheth their husbands and their children. Your mother was an Hittite, and your father an Amorite. In other words, you just like your mother, a whore, like your sister, a harlot. You know, these are all the things that is explaining to us as a people of the things that we did, and we go a whoring after things that profit us nothing, that do us no good, that can't lead us to any salvation. These are the things that the Most High God is saying that we did as his people. That's right. We always saw before our leaders that we would serve Yah, and we just turned around and did other than. It says here, and thine elder sister is Samaria, she and her daughters that dwell at thy left hand, and thy younger sister that dwelleth at thy right hand is Sodom and her daughters. Yet hast thou not walked after their ways, nor done after their abominations, but as if that were a very little thing, thou was corrupted more than they in all thy ways. We were worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what the Most High God is saying. Now, what could be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah? Israel. That's what the Most High God is saying here. 47. Yet hast thou not walked after their ways, nor done after their abominations. But if that were a very little thing, thou was corrupted more than they in all thy ways. In all thy ways we were corrupted more than them. Unbelievable. Verse 48. As I live, saith Jehovah God, Sodom thy sister have not done, she nor her daughter, as thou hast done, thou and thy daughters. So we did worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Goodness. What could be worse than that? Verse 49. Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom, pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters. Neither did this she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy, and they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore I took them away as I saw good. Neither have Samaria committed half of thy sins, but thou hast multiplied thine abominations more than they, and have justified thy sisters in all thine abominations which thou hast done. So God is saying, although you've seen what Samaria, right, the northern kingdom did, right, said, you still went and did worse than they did. That's a shame. We know what they went into captivity for, and we still went and did worse than what they did. Verse 52. Thou also which hast judged thy sisters, bear thine own shame, for thy sins that thou hast committed more abominable than they. They are more righteous than thou. Yea, be thou confounded also, and bear thy shame, and that thou hast justified thy sisters. Bear your shame, because you was worse than them. We have to wake up, people, and we have to understand that the Most High God is judging us, and that he's going to exact everything. All the evil that we've done, he's going to exact it of us. Verse 53, when I shall bring again the captivity of Sodom and her daughters, and the captivity of Samaria and her daughters, then will I bring again the captivity of thy captives in the midst of them, that thou mayest bear thine own shame, and mayest be confounded in all that thou hast done, and that thou art a comfort unto them. When thy sister Sodom and her daughters shall return to their former estate, and Samaria and her daughters shall return to their former estate, then thou and thy daughters shall return to your former estate. So we're going to return after they return. For thy sister Sodom was not mentioned by thy mouth in the day of thy pride, before thy wickedness was discovered, as at the time of thy reproach of the daughter of Syria, and all that are round about her, the daughters of the Philistines, which despise thee round about. Thou hast borne thy lewdness and thine abomination, saith Jehovah. For thus saith Jehovah God, I will even deal with thee as thou hast done, which has despised the oath in breaking the covenant. Nevertheless, I will remember my covenant with thee and the land of thy youth, and I will establish unto thee an everlasting covenant. Then thou shalt remember thy ways and be ashamed when thou shalt receive thy sisters, thine elder and thy younger, and I'll give them unto thee for daughters, but not by thy covenant. And I'll establish my covenant with thee, and thou shalt know that I am Jehovah, that thou mayest remember and be confounded, and never open thy mouth any more because of thy shame, when I am pacified towards thee for all that thou hast done, saith Jehovah God. So at the end, the Most High God will get his glory, right? And we're going to see how shameful we are. I said we did worse than Sodom. Goodness gracious. We thought Sodom was the worst. God said we did worse than them. We did worse than our brothers and sisters in the north. This is talking about Judah. So, wow. Yisrael, we truly have to repent. We truly have to come back to this great king, give him glory, give him thanks. Pray that he continues to be with us as his people, that he'll continue to lift us. Thanking the creator of heaven and earth for all things and everything, food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Thanking the Most High God for all of you that tune in. Don't forget to like the video. Listen, don't forget to put a comment on the video, right? Go back to last week's videos, put comments on it. That's all part of the algorithm. Y'all, I think y'all forget after the video get uploaded. You got all these great comments here in the chat, but people, like if a new person comes to the channel or they see a video, sometimes the more comments the video have, they'll push it up. YouTube push it up with its algorithms. So when people start searching certain things about the Sabbath, whatever, our videos begin to show up. And we want to teach people this truth, right? It's about teaching people this truth. All of you brothers and sisters out there, and I'm saying sisters also, be fishers and be hunters. Be fishers and be hunters. Gather God's people. Look for God's people. Enlighten God's people. It's not for you to just sit in your laurels and not introduce people to this way of life, to this understanding. It's about introducing people to this way of life, to this understanding, making them understand that there is only one God, and it's all of our jobs and our duties to do that. So I'm really hoping that there are brothers and sisters out there on their job doing what they're supposed to do, that at some time in the near future, somebody will be inviting me somewhere and say, hey, Chief Uzziel, I got a group of 5, I got a group of 10 here. Can you come over here and have a lesson with us, have a weekend with us? I'll be more than glad to do that. But y'all got to start building it. It's not about one congregation. It's not about d.c.b. The Most High God is just using us as a tool to enlighten everybody. So we need you to get out there, be confident in yourself, be confident in yourselves, and bring the understanding of God's people. Bring the understanding of God to God's people. All right? So thanking all of you once again. Let's keep all of our brothers and sisters in our prayers. Let's understand that the Most High God be with us. Let's pray that the Most High God be with us and guide us and protect us. And I'm thankful to the Creator of heaven and earth for my life, for all of your lives, and may the Most High God bless you all. Shalom, shalom, and everyone have a great night.